Hello, everybody, hello, welcome to the Nerd Ledger. I am Cage. I am alone today. It's Christmas Eve, and I am here to talk about nerd stuff because there's a bunch of news we've been neglecting for like weeks and weeks. So I want to get all caught up on all of that. And like I said, it's Christmas Eve. I just went to the gym. I got me some Dutch Bros, you know what I'm saying? Got me some coffee. Got my little doggy just chilling here. Like, oh, yep, there we go. I'm not live. I'm recording this. I will not be editing it because I don't do that. It will go out as it is. Apologies if any of it is laggy or anything because my computer is a piece of shit. But yeah, it should be fine, right? Yeah. So here I am. Yes, I hope everybody has a great Christmas and whatever it is you're doing, enjoy it. But yeah, today I have a lot of news to talk about. Of course, it's kind of peak season right now for nerd stuff, just in general. And I mean, as far as like TV shows dropping, news dropping. What's up, dog? What's up? Yeah. So there are things that Chair and I are planning, hopefully, to talk about. And if he doesn't catch up on the shows, I will talk about them still. And maybe my wife will join me because she's been watching Skeleton Crew with me and Creature Commandos. And yeah, really, really excited to talk about those soon. Maybe we'll wait till all the episodes are out. But who knows? So far, I think the fifth episode of Skeleton Crew drops today. Creature Commandos is through 4 episodes as well. I've watched the first 3 of that. And both shows really enjoyable so far. And I have a lot more to say, but I'll save that for when it's time to talk about it. What If Season 3 is also slowly rolling out. There's a new episode every day. I think it started a couple days ago. Haven't watched any of that yet. But I certainly will. I'm not a huge fan of the What If stuff in general that's been done as far as the TV, animated show. Like, they're just not that interesting. Like the What Ifs they come up with, and they're more like Elseworld stories, not so much like What Ifs. Well, I mean, What Ifs I guess are Elseworld stories as well, but they're just not that interesting of ideas, the ones that they do. So we'll see. But we'll jump in for the first bits of news. First of all, I mentioned Creature Commandos. It's already confirmed now. Season 2 will be happening. So there's that. And sticking with the DCU theme to start off with here for news, the Superman trailer dropped. And there's been a lot of response online. There's been a lot of people that have a lot of things to say. Of course, you'll have, the group of Snyder fans who will hate anything that's not Zack Snyder's. And then you have people who just like to compare and like to, my opinion on trailers in general is I don't care. Like, trailers exist for one reason, right? Trailers exist solely to market the movie, right? And to get people to go see the movie. The reality is, people like me, we're going to go see the movie regardless if the trailer's good or not. That's just kind of how it is. And there will be a lot of people who will go see just so that they can hate on it without people saying, well, why are you hating? You haven't even seen it. And if you want to hate something and you go watch it, you probably will hate it. You'll find every reason you can to hate it. So, I watched the trailer. It's fine. It's a trailer. I don't really care. I think some of the criticisms of the trailer are just, they're just lazy. Like people like keep clipping Nathan Fillion's Guy Gardner and saying, "Oh, he looks goofy. Look at this goofy wig. Look at it." It's like, yeah, Guy Gardner. If you look in a comic book, he looks really fucking goofy. Like, that's that's kind of who the character is. So it's not really a problem. People doing the same thing with Mr. Terrific. It looks like how it looks in comics. And I'm not saying, oh, well, comic book costumes always translate well to screen, because that's not really true. But as fans, as comic book fans, I'd rather see a goofy looking superhero costume that's comic book accurate than not seeing it, right? Just seeing them and never in their costumes, or maybe, in some like black flight suits the whole fucking time. So, I think the first kind of like images we got of Superman, like in his costume or whatever, like there were criticisms of that too. I think in action it looks pretty good. And I'm excited for the film in general. It has nothing to do with the trailer though. Like, again, I don't care about trailers, and people will go back and forth and whatever, dead on arrival and this and that. Who cares? Like, just if you want to watch it, go watch it, and if you don't, then don't. I don't know why we have to sit here and compare and point fingers and all this stuff. Here you go, doggy. Sorry, I was just putting my doggy down. He's getting a little restless. I mean, like, he wants to be on my lap, but he's like heavy and he's like moving around, and it's not that comfortable. So he'll be fine. He'll be fine. I'll just pet him right now. He's on the floor. So yeah. Okay, and that'll lead us into our first bit of news. Here we go. I'm doing this all on the fly. Here we go. Bink. Bop. Look at that. Making my camera all smaller. There we go. I mean, I should have put the stuff on the other side, but that's okay. Here we are. That's me. I'm gonna look at this. Oof. Dink. Donk. Okay. Here's our first one. Okay. So, can we blow this up anymore? Yeah, whatever. Sure. Yeah, here we go. Okay. So, first bit of news, because like I said, the Superman trailer dropped, and David Ayer, he was the director of the very first Suicide Squad movie. There's been a release the Ayer cut movement for a while, and he has announced a break from social media after death threats. And yeah, where did these death threats come from? Oh, I'll tell you. So yeah, best known for directing 2016's Suicide Squad, Ayer had been campaigning for Warner Brothers Discovery to release his director's cut for several years. The effort developed some support online and inspired several fan campaigns. However, some fans of the DCEU were apparently upset when Ayer voiced his support for James Gunn in the upcoming Superman movie, which is the first film set in the new DCU. The controversy started after David Ayer addressed his followers on X, formerly Twitter, on December 17th regarding their latest effort to promote his campaign. Their most recent trending effort coincided with the release of Creature Commandos, the first show set in the DCU. Ayer said that this was unintentional and politely asked his followers not to campaign for him on December 19th. This was the day the first Superman trailer was to be released. He wrote on Twitter, I didn't realize James was dropping Creature Commandos when the last Ayer cut campaign hit. The new Superman trailer is dropping soon, and I know there's intentions of another campaign for my version of Squad. As filmmakers, I want to support other filmmakers. I'm excited to see the trailer and have heard through the rumor mill. It's pretty incredible. I just want to publicly say it would be nice to stay far and clear of Thursday for any campaigning. Unfortunately, David Ayer's request did not have the intended effect. Indeed, many called him a traitor before threatening his life. This prompted a second post on X on December 18th, in which Ayer announced that he was taking a break from social media due to the vitriolic response. He also affirmed his continued support for James Gunn and how much he was looking forward to seeing the trailer and the new Superman movie. He wrote, "My lord, if supporting another filmmaker is contentious, I'm just lost at this point. When I was a kid, I had a nightmare childhood. My best friends were comic books. They held me and gave me company when no one else did. Batman spoke to my injured soul." I can't read the rest of the tweet because it's covered. Yeah. He continued, I cannot wait to see this film, and absolutely I'm sure he crushed it. But because that simple optimism of Superman is all over it, and the little kid in me needs that right now. I'm a bad guy for that, ? So be it. It's unclear what effect, if any, this will have on the efforts to release the David Ayer cut of Suicide Squad. It is ironic, however, that some of Ayer's supporters are opposed to anything being positive being said about James Gunn or his work. Ayer claimed in a 2023 statement to Variety that Gunn told him the Ayer cut would have its time to be shared. Don't know about any of that, but what I do know is that people need to get fucking lives. Like, I get it. You're passionate about something. We as nerds, we as comic book fans, we as fans of this medium and then the movies and all this stuff, we're passionate. But Jesus fucking Christ, man. Like, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just young people who, like, aren't fully developed or something, but, like, really, really, like, learn some fucking life skills. Like, wishing death on people because they support something you don't, like, that's peak fucking social media culture at its finest. Listen, I do this small little podcast. I get barely any viewers, any listeners. That's fine. I don't really care. I do it because it's fun and I enjoy it. But even I have had people threaten me for simply not even sharing an opinion, but not telling someone else that they were wrong for sharing their opinion. It's ridiculous. I don't get it. I really don't. Like, I mean, I wouldn't, like, leave Twitter because I was getting death threats, but at the same time, like, Jesus Christ, like, get a fucking grip on your life. If the most, I don't know. It's mind-boggling to me, but yeah. There's that. Next in the DCU news, DC Studios has set release dates for 2 MCU movies. Clayface and Dynamic Duo have been given release dates from DC Studios. Clayface is a new DC movie that is being written by Mike Flanagan and produced by Matt Reeves and Lynn Harris. Dynamic Duo, however, is a DC Studios and Warner Brothers Pictures animated film directed by Arthur Mintz and written by Matthew Aldrich. Warner Brothers has now announced official release dates for both movies. So Clayface is set to be released on September 11th, 2026, which is pretty soon, less than 2 years away, and Dynamic Duo will arrive on June 30th, 2028. The latter of the two will also be shown in IMAX theaters. Per deadline, it was announced earlier, in a couple weeks ago probably, that DC Studios was moving forward with a Clayface movie. Plot details remain under wraps at this time, though production is expected to begin in early 2025. On Threads, James Gunn called Clayface a quote-unquote DCU story, meaning that it will be set within the continuity of Gunn and Peter Safran's new shared DC universe that recently kicked off with the animated Creature Commando series. While no casting has officially been announced for Clayface, it's worth noting that Alan Tudyk is voicing the character in Creature Commandos. Gunn has previously said that actors who voice major animated characters in DCU projects will also play them in live action, which is the case for Frank Grillo, as he's voicing Rick Flag Sr. in Creature Commandos and will also appear in 2025's live-action Superman movie. Additionally, Gunn said that Tudyk will play a live-action character in the DCU. It wasn't initially clear who he meant, as Tudyk also voices Dr. Phosphorus and Will Magnus in addition to Clayface and Creature Commandos. Not much is known about the plot of Dynamic Duo at this time, other than it will revolve around Dick Grayson and Jason Todd. Reeves and Harris are also producing that movie alongside Teresa Anderson. So yeah, this was a quick turnaround on Clayface. There's more news about him soon as well that I'll get to, but there you go, 2 release dates. And here we have, so the next few articles are all James Gunn commenting on things. So James Gunn on why DCU won't tell Batman and Superman origins, and he defends Swamp Thing movie. DC Studios co-CEO James Gunn has addressed why they opted against retelling Batman and Superman's origin stories on the big screen. The filmmaker also defended DC Studios' decision to give Swamp Thing a new movie. I don't care about any of that. So here we go. On Threads, Gunn recently responded to one fan who was less than thrilled about Jesus, sorry, I guess I have to read it. Almost 2 years after Gunn and Peter Safran unveiled the initial film and televised slate for the DC Universe, the hotly anticipated franchise is less than 2 weeks away from launching. It's actually already launched with Creature Commandos, set to encompass everything from live-action movies to adult animated television series. Gunn is clearly hoping that the DCU will have something for everyone. But on Threads, Gunn recently responded to one fan who was less than thrilled. They took issue with DC Studios foregoing origin stories in favor of movies where the superheroes were already established and well into their careers fighting crime. The fan also criticized DC's decision to give lesser-known characters like Sergeant Rock and Swamp Thing their own movies before more popular heroes like Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and The Flash. James Gunn responded by saying, "I'm not telling Batman and Superman's origin stories again because everyone knows them. And don't put Swamp Thing in the corner. That's a project in development we've actually announced, and he's an incredibly well-known character with not only some of the greatest comic books of all time, but a successful film series and his own TV show, something that could be said of only a very small handful of DC characters." I agree with what James Gunn is saying as far as the origin stories. We don't need them anymore, and we didn't need it for Spider-Man when he came into the MCU, and we didn't really get it. Like, we got it like told to us tertiarily, which I said years and years before when it was first announced that Spider-Man would come into the MCU, that the Sony deal, like 2015 or whatever. I said the same exact thing. We don't need another origin story. After another fan argued in favor of origin stories, stating that general audiences are not as familiar with superheroes' backstories as well as comic book nerds are, Gunn stepped in to reiterate that it was only Batman and Superman whose origins would not be shown in their DCU movies. Again, it's just two DC characters, Batman and Superman, he wrote. Both Batman and Superman's origins were depicted on screen in the DCEU, the predecessor to the DCU, and BVS, just Dawn of Justice and Man of Steel, respectively. As for Swamp Thing, the character's origin is a bit more complicated than that of Batman and Superman, so it is likely that the upcoming movie, which will be written and directed by James Mangold, will delve at least partially into the character's backstory. Superman, Swamp Thing, and the Batman movie, The Brave and the Bold, were all part of the initial DCU slate announcement, while Sergeant Rock was first confirmed to be in development earlier this week. Actor Daniel Craig is reportedly in talks to portray Sergeant Rock in the movie, with Luca Guadagnino, who directed Craig and Queer, is tapped to direct. No deals are yet signed, but the plan is for Sergeant Rock to be Guadagnino's next movie. At the time of writing, Superman is the only aforementioned DCU character whose movie is already in post-production, and the trailer's out, and it'll hit theaters July 11th of 2025. There you have it. Next, we have more comments from James Gunn, this time about Deathstroke's future in the DC universe. So he has given an update on Slade Wilson, aka Deathstroke, in the DCU franchise, which he co-leads with Peter Safran. The character has a long history in the comics and has been adapted multiple times for various mediums, including movies. So there is a plan, apparently. The filmmaker recently corroborated that there are plans for Deathstroke's future in the DCU, while responding to a fan's query on Threads about whether James Gunn had any ideas on how Deathstroke could work in the DCU, and if there are any plans at all for the character. The director of the upcoming Superman movie posted, "Yes and yes." The confirmation comes following the announcement of an untitled Bane and Deathstroke movie in September 2024. The project is currently in development as part of the DCU, with Matthew Orton attached to the project as screenwriter. Deathstroke was created by Marv Wolfman and George Perez. He made his first appearance in the second issue of the New Teen Titans, published in December 1980. At the time, the character went by the moniker Deathstroke the Terminator. Over the years, Deathstroke has become a prominent antagonistic figure in DC Comics. Yep, lots of animated stuff. Really great in Teen Titans. Yeah, he showed up in Smallville. He showed up in Arrow. Great in Arrow. The latest show also featured other versions of Deathstroke besides Wilson. The only live-action cinematic version of the character portrayed by Joe Manganiello appeared in the DCEU movie Justice League and Zack Snyder's Justice League. Earlier this year, Manganiello told comicbook.com that he was unlikely to return as Deathstroke. As of November 2024, it's unclear who will play the character in the DCU. However, considering James' recent post, Deathstroke might be part of a larger DCU storyline beyond his team-up movie with Bane. I hope that James Gunn, based on this and some other things, doesn't make the same mistake with these villain movies that we've seen from other studios. We'll get to that too. I think it's different with Clayface because you can do something really interesting with Clayface. I don't know about Deathstroke and Bane, but it could work out if he does the right thing. So on to the next. James Gunn clarifies stance on DCU origin stories, gives Wonder Woman update. So let's make sure this isn't the same fucking thing he said in the last one. So on Threads, Gunn shared some thoughts about how the DCU will address origin stories, specifically characters of Batman and Superman. Yep, that's the same exact thing. Okay, so what did he say about Wonder Woman? When asked about whether or not he believes the general audience knows Wonder Woman's canonical origin, Gunn said, "Not as many people do, also because she's had various origin stories." Fuck you. Sorry. That was my... Nope. Hey, chill. Now, one of the projects that was announced to be part of the DCU's first chapter, titled Gods and Monsters, is Paradise Lost, which will be a political drama set in Themyscira before the birth of Wonder Woman. While there hasn't been much news about Paradise Lost since its initial announcement, Gunn confirmed the series is currently in very active development. No casting information regarding the series has been publicly revealed at this time, and no premiere date has been set. A number of other DCU projects are in various stages of development. Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow currently has a June 26, 2026 release date. Gunn also recently said that Lanterns, the series starring Kyle Chandler and as Hal Jordan and Aaron Pierre as Jon Stewart, will likely premiere around the same time as Supergirl releases in theaters. Other forthcoming DCU television series include Waller, Booster Gold, and a Blue Beetle show, while films such as The Authority, The Brave and the Bold, Swamp Thing, Teen Titans, and more are additionally in the works. So there's a lot of stuff happening with the DCU. We'll see how that all develops. Back to Clayface. James Gunn has explained why Clayface is the third DCU movie, and he gives a Flash update. So James Gunn has explained why Clayface will be the third film set in the DCU. The DCU officially kicked off with Creature Commandos and Superman coming out in July 2025, Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow coming out June 2026, and then obviously Clayface now on September 11th, 2026. It will be written, like I said, by Mike Flanagan, and there's no director attached as of yet. On Threads, James Gunn was asked why Clayface would be the third DCU film instead of a more prominent character in DC Comics, such as Wonder Woman or Flash. He said, "Because the number one rule here at DC, no movie will be greenlit before the script is ready," and Flanagan's script was ready. Regarding Flash, Gunn also commented, "And as for the Flash, we're holding a beat on development. No movie set within the DCU starring the Flash has been announced at this time." Having said that, there is also a Teen Titans movie in development, and while the roster of characters who will be included in the film hasn't been announced, Wally West, who is, the Flash, is a founding member of the team in the DC Comics lore. The last movie featuring the Scarlet Speedster was 2023's The Flash, which was also directed by Andy Muschietti and starred Ezra Miller as Barry Allen. Speaking with IO9, Gunn also discussed how the plans for a Clayface movie came to fruition in such a quick time frame. He says, "I didn't plan on making a Clayface movie. Mike came in, he pitched this wonderful idea. I was like, damn, I can't believe you got me to want to make a Clayface movie. But he's got to write the script, and who knows how that's going to work." He goes and he writes the script. First draft is great. Second draft is even better. And then I'm like, let's do it. We found a place for it because if there's quality stuff, we can find a way to work it in, which is great. There's, you don't run things with rigidity. You need to be flexible at certain times, and I think that's what James Gunn is doing here. And like I said, with Clayface, you can tell a really interesting story about this character. Clayface is a very interesting character on his own. And, similar to the first Joker movie, you can do something really interesting with that character without having to have Batman there. So I'm a fan of Clayface, and I look forward to this and hope it's not dog shit. James Gunn also talked about why Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow is the second DCU movie. So he was talking about the development of Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. He revealed that Millie Alcock Millie Alcock-led outing wasn't always going to follow Superman directly, but the quality of its script, written by Anna Nogueira, sped things up. Furthermore, Craig Gillespie also hopped on as director fairly quickly. James said, I didn't necessarily know that Supergirl would be the second movie we were going to make, but Anna wrote an incredible script, and then we hired an incredible director, and we're going to do this movie after Superman because he was the best option. Gunn also confirmed that other films had been written too, but since Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow's script seemed complete, it was fast-tracked. He continued, other movies have been written, but they haven't been as good as this one, so we're going to keep going with that. Everything has to be good. Quality comes first in every project we do, and that's more important than telling the grandiose mega narrative. While Gunn didn't confirm that what those other movies were, fans do have the confirmed lineup for the first 3 DC films, which we already talked about. So for this, I think it's worth noting that this is the proper way to go, right? Like, you don't just say, okay, here's the full plan, here's the overarching narrative, here's here are my goals for this universe, and how we're gonna roll out everything. Really, it should be about the stories. And if a script isn't good enough, you don't say, well, we need to make it better, and we're still on track for this release date that we have to hit. You say, okay, go back, and when it's good enough, we'll do it, right? So I'm all on board with that. And listen, things it's possible things don't work out, where there's some real stinkers, there's some real dog shit that might be released, but I haven't watched any superhero thing that James Gunn has done and ever been disappointed. So you can call me a glazer if you want, but that's where I'm at with it. The Batman Part 2 update. Matt Reeves says that the script is being finished. That's really the update. He continued on saying, it's wonderful except for the speed of getting something done. The thing is that for me, I feel like it's not a choice. I always feel like I would never do it the way I'm doing it, except that that's the only way I know how to do it. The metaphor that I use when I'm talking to my partners is that writing and filmmaking is like being in a dark room. Everything you need is in the room, but there are no lights and you're on hands and knees. And when something connects, you go, that's something. So, yeah, no plot details, Jeffrey Wright, Jim Gordon, blah, blah, blah. Got it. Also, The Penguin, Season 2. Is it happening? Here's what Matt Reeves said. So, he did share an update. And the update is that everything is on the table. So... here's what he actually said. This conversation, he said, yeah, we're talking to the showrunner, Lauren LaFranc, about doing another season. That was a special experience. I just feel like really fortunate. These characters don't belong to me. They belong to the world. It comes down to whether you can approach them in a way that expresses something personal. So there's really no news there. If the story is right and everything works out, then they will do it. That's really what it is. So... on to some Spider-Man news. Guys, there's some Spider-Man news. Hold on. Let me do this. Bop. Okay. Don't know why it's so big and blown up, but that's okay. Let's move this over. Here we go. Okay, so Spider-Man 4 plot details for Tom Holland's Peter Parker have been revealed by the producer. So yeah, conversations about Spider-Man 4 featuring Tom Holland as the MCU version of Peter Parker have been around as far back as 2019, 2 years before the release of the third movie. Spider-Man No Way Home. Since then, the project has taken shape and has been officially announced. Recently, producer Amy Pascal revealed key storyline details from the movie in a new interview. Pascal has been attached as a producer of multiple Marvel projects, including the previous movies led by Holland. During an interview with Pete Hammond for Deadline's Behind the Lens series, the Challenger's producer teased aspects of the Spider-Man 4 storyline. During the interview, Hammond disclosed that after seeing No Way Home, he saw it was the perfect way to end the whole thing, jokingly adding that this was the reason he was not a producer. In response, Pascal detailed how they intended to take the story forward. She said, "We have to deal with the fact that he decided he was going to give up being Peter Parker and he was gonna focus on being Spider-Man because Peter Parker was too hard. So that's what the movie is about." So that not really much insight there, to be honest. But there's more, guys. There's more. There's some rumors. You know me. I hate rumors, but I gotta talk about them. Maybe you don't know me. Now you know I hate rumors. The thing with rumors is people tend to take rumors as truth and then get very upset when they turn out to not be true. And then they blame everybody and whatever. So, yeah, I'm not a fan of rumors. But we'll talk about it. Some of them can be quite interesting. So Spider-Man 4 cast Sacha Baron Cohen's Mephisto is rumored to be the villain. A new report that suggests the actor Sacha Baron Cohen might join the cast of Spider-Man 4 as the villain Mephisto. Fans have been constantly waiting for the extra-dimensional demon to make his debut in the Marvel Cinematic Universe for years. Mephisto was recently name-dropped in Episode 3 of the Catherine Hahn series Agatha All Along. Thus, there is curiosity around among the masses regarding the villain appearing soon. The reason why I think this is interesting is because, so in No Way Home, they did the thing, right? They did the reverse of the thing, kinda. So for the uninitiated, I'll say, right? So No Way Home in some ways is similar to the events that follow Civil War in comics. So in the Civil War storyline, Spider-Man is convinced. Okay, so I'll give all the context here, so people who haven't read it or aren't familiar don't get lost. So Civil War, right? Obviously, it deals with the Superhuman Registration Act, and what that is essentially is if you're a superhero, you have to register your identity with the government, and you can't, then you can be held accountable and all this stuff. And Iron Man is pro that, and Captain America is anti that because, of various reasons. Anyway, so it creates a civil war between superheroes where you have your pro Registration Act people versus your anti-Registration Act people. And in order to try to get more people on their side, Spider-Man is convinced to publicly reveal his identity. Not similar, but his identity ends up being revealed. I'm Peter Parker. I'm Spider-Man. And in the MCU, it's Mephisto. Guys, I'm tired. It's Mysterio who reveals his identity. And the consequences in the comics are that all his enemies, all Spider-Man's enemies now know who he is, and they can target the people he loves. And it's kind of similar in the MCU, right? They show it to a lesser extent. But right? So he in the comic book, following this, there's a storyline that people really hated, and the writers got death threats and everything, and people were real mad because essentially it undid the one thing that people thought was Spider-Man's whole identity, right? It undid his marriage to Mary Jane. But in that story, in comic books, Peter Parker makes a deal with Mephisto. Essentially, the deal is that everyone will forget that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, they won't forget about, in the MCU, people just forget Peter Parker existed entirely. Nobody knows who Peter Parker is. Everybody knows who Spider-Man is. Nobody knows who Peter Parker is at all. Like, he just never existed. But in the comic book, people who know Peter still know Peter, and whatever. But nobody knows that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, right? That's the key point. And he had to give up his marriage to Mary Jane, who he didn't know at the time was pregnant with their child. And so Mary Jane would forget about him completely. And anyway, so that's how it happened in comics. And so they did a similar thing here in the MCU, right? Everybody forgot about Peter Parker, but I haven't read this article in full yet, so I don't know if they're going to mention anything like this. But my thought is, it could be interesting if they bring Mephisto into Spider-Man 4, because maybe he'll make a deal with Mephisto to, help people remember Peter Parker again, but forget that he was Spider-Man still. And that could be interesting. So, who knows? But let's read the rest of this. So, in his recently released newsletter, industry insider Jeff Snyder stated that Marvel might have got Sacha Baron Cohen on board in the role of Mephisto. However, Snyder added in the insider that the chances of the Dictator star appearing in Spider-Man 4 are generally low. This is because his source claimed that the actor's schedule will be packed in 2025. He stated in his newsletter, "One of my sources cast doubt on this, saying that SBC is a top secret Universal movie due out next year, which you'll have to promote at some point." Sorry, I do that voice because I hate insiders. I mean, I don't hate insiders. I just generally, I don't believe in their work. Just don't. Sorry. Anyway, Snyder also questioned the idea of introducing Cohen as Mephisto in the 2025 Disney Plus series Ironheart. He added, "But would Marvel really cast an actor as big as Sacha Baron Cohen in the role as big as Mephisto just to waste him in a second-tier Disney Plus series Ironheart? I don't think so." You see, this is my other problem with these insiders. They get these scoops, and then they just give their personal opinions, and people take it as fact. It's crazy. Stop, please. Anyway, the insider further added that, according to him, Marvel head Kevin Feige is preparing to have Cohen's Mephisto as the primary villain in this new Spider-Man movie. However, Jeff Snyder did mention that nothing regarding the rumor has been confirmed by Marvel. Of course it hasn't. As reported by Superhero Hype before, in November, Marvel TV head Brad Winderbaum was asked about Mephisto's debut in Ironheart. However, he didn't reveal much and said, "I wish I could tell you." There you have it. I don't think this is true. I don't think Spider-Man 4 is coming out in July 2025. This article is only 5 days old. Yeah, fix your shit. I think that's completely false. Anyway, another rumor that I'm gonna shit on. Sony wants Spider-Man 4 to be a Deadpool and Wolverine-like team-up. Spider-Man 4 featuring Tom Holland has already been confirmed, but not much is known about its plot, with Marvel, predictably, keeping it under wraps. However, according to an industry scooper, Sony, which co-produced and distributed the previous Tom Holland-led projects, intends for it to be a team-up movie just like Deadpool and Wolverine. The scooper further speculated that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire could return in bigger roles than the ones they had in Spider-Man No Way Home. Industry scooper Alex Perez claimed during the Cosmic Circus December Discord that both Marvel and Sony wanted to make Spider-Man 4 as a team-up movie in the same vein as Deadpool and Wolverine. Notably, the movie made a bunch of money. Reflecting on the future of Sony's Spider-Man and associated movies, Perez claimed that the quote-unquote death of the Sony universe was an exaggeration, adding that Sony is not likely to let go of the Spider-Man IP in a million years. Listen, I give up. I don't care. Yes, it's entirely possible and probably actually very likely that Sony wants Spider-Man 4 to be a Deadpool movie. I mean, a team-up movie. That would not surprise me in the slightest. But I don't. Yeah, the rest of it, I just whatever. Anyway, Spider-Man 4 cast William Dafoe teases Green Goblin's return. The updates on Spider-Man 4 and its cast have been scarce, but Willem Dafoe has teased his return as Green Goblin. There's a lot that fans are yet to find out about Spider-Man 4's plot and villains, but Dafoe has certainly shown interest in returning as Norman Osborn. While promoting his latest horror film, Nosferatu, Dafoe was asked whether fans would ever get to see if Norman Osborn safely made it back to his universe after Spider-Man No Way Home. Though the actor didn't give a straight answer about his future in the MCU or Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man movies, he shared his willingness to return if Marvel asked for it. He said, we'll see. I could come back. Tom was great to work with, and the whole series of Spider-Man films that I did were great fun. There you have it. He might come back. He'd be open to it. Would Marvel bring him back? Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? That's the way the cookie crumbles. So, all right. Now we're getting into proper MCU news, guys. Proper. Let me make this smaller. It's about time, right? So that we can actually, see everything in a big way. There we go. Okay. So we are going to talk about the Avengers news. We got a bunch of Avengers news, and then we got some other MCU randomness. Then we got some other more MCU stuff. Then we got something about Star Wars, something about Lord of the Rings, and then we're going to talk about the death of Sony. The death of the Sony's universe. Anyway, first of all, yes, this is old news, but here we are. We haven't talked about news in a long time, guys. Chris Evans is joining Avengers Doomsday. He's officially returning to the MCU, as The Wrap reported that the star who played Captain America for over a decade will be in Avengers Doomsday. What will Chris Evans do in Avengers Doomsday? Nobody fucking knows, but hey, whatever. Apparently we have to just write things. So I'm not going to read the rest of this, other than telling you that we don't know who he's playing. We can all guess. It's extremely likely that he will be Captain America. However, Robert Downey Jr. is also going to be in Avengers Doomsday, not playing Iron Man, playing what we're told, Doctor Doom, and only Doctor Doom. Not a variant of Tony Stark, not some other version of Tony that became Doctor Doom. He's Victor Von Doom proper, not a variant. He just is Victor Von Doom. He is Doctor Doom. There's no trickery or sorcery there that we don't know about until we see the movie, and maybe there is. Who knows? But Chris Evans is coming back, and let's be honest, he's most likely playing Captain America, especially because of some other news. I don't know if it's mentioned in the other article, but when I read it, we'll see, and if not, I'll come back to it. Remind me to come back to it. Something I forgot that I'm going to come back to now. The Superman trailer that everybody is hating on is the most viewed DC trailer of all time, and it's like top 4 or 5 comic book movie trailers of all time. That doesn't mean much. I'm just putting it out there. All right. So, Avengers Doomsday. Benedict Cumberbatch has confirmed Doctor Strange is return. So let's see what he actually said. I don't know if I can do a Benedict Cumberbatch accent. Let's see. So when asked about appearing in the upcoming Avengers movie, Benedict Cumberbatch showed excitement to work with the Russo brothers and even Robert Downey Jr., who will be the film's big bad. He told TV Groove, he said, I'm really excited not only to work with the Russo brothers again, but also to have Robert Downey Jr. returning as Doctor Doom. I think there's going to be some really cool developments ahead, and I'm excited to see what happens next. Yeah, that's a terrible accent for Benedict Cumberbatch, but I can't do his... Yeah, anyway. Additionally, the actor spoke to Variety about his MCU return at the Red Sea Film Festival. Speaking of Doctor Strange, he stated that his superhero persona is a complex man motivated by a need to control everything at any cost, which is exactly what Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness was about, even though people kind of missed that. He said, I'm interested... So, Jesus, fuck, what was that? He said, I'm interested in seeing where these costs take him. There's a lot more to play, and it's very exciting. Now I made him Scottish. Just because. Guys, just because, you know? So, yeah, Doctor Strange will be back for Doomsday. More about Chris Evans. Apparently, the character he's playing is revealed. Chris Evans, Avengers Doomsday, role may not remain a mystery anymore, as a new report possibly reveals who he is playing. Guys, a new report. It's possible. It's possible. And it's possible that he's not playing Captain America, or even his long-theorized, twisted Captain Hydra variant. It isn't Johnny Storm either. Instead, it is a version of Chris Evans' character that we have never seen. Sorry, that we have seen in the MCU's past outings. All right. Apparently, he's playing Nomad. Guys, it's still Steve Rogers. And here we go. Trusted industry insider Jeff Snyder. Jesus fuck, man. He recently broke the news of Bill Skarsgård and Dacker Montgomery leading Dead Man's Wire. Fuck, who cares? Anyway, he's now officially revealed Chris Evans' Doomsday character. It isn't someone that many fans would have expected, as Snyder name-dropped Nomad. Speaking on the Hot Mic podcast with John Rocca, he said, I've heard who the character is. Continuing to these, I was having the conversation today, and someone mentioned it. Nomad. Anyway, that's what he said. Considering this reveal didn't come from Marvel Studios, it needs to be taken with a grain of salt. You don't fucking say. But for those unaware, Nomad is the alternate identity that Steve Rogers takes on in 1974's Captain America number 180 comic. In this storyline, he abandons his Captain America moniker after losing faith in the U.S. government and becomes a man serving no country. A version of Nomad was loosely adapted in Avengers Infinity War, which is, yeah, we've already fucking seen this. Anyway, yeah, cool. Fucking love rumors, guys. I brought in all the rumor ones just so you can see how much I love them. Here we go. Another story, a real one. Avengers Doomsday cast adds Captain America's Haley Atwell to MCU ensemble movie. Atwell made her Marvel Cinematic Universe debut in 2011's Captain America: The First Avenger, where she played Peggy Carter / Agent Carter. Now, per Deadline, Atwell is expected to reprise her role as Agent Carter in Marvel Studios' Avengers Doomsday, which will be released in 2026. After Captain America: The First Avenger, Atwell appeared as Peggy in a couple of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episodes before she helmed her own ABC series, Agent Carter, which ran for 2 seasons. Atwell was also seen in 2014's Captain America: The Winter Soldier, 2015's Avengers: Age of Ultron, and 2015's Ant-Man. Additionally, Atwell has portrayed alternate universe versions of Peggy, sometimes referred to as Captain Carter, in 2019's Avengers Endgame, 2022's Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and What If. It's not immediately clear which version of Peggy Atwell will be playing in Doomsday. Outside of Marvel, Atwell stars as Grace in the Mission Impossible franchise and will soon be seen portraying a character named Madison in Paddington in Peru, which arrives in the United States. Yeah, she also voices Lara Croft in the new Netflix animated Tomb Raider, and what's-her-face? Sophie Turner is going to play a live-action version with Prime. So yeah, we don't know what version she'll play. This article doesn't refer to it, and I don't think I pulled any of the ones that do. I don't know if what it's true or not true. Apparently, there was an idea or a plan to make a movie about Steve's life with Peggy after he, returns the Infinity Stones and he shows up as an old man. He lived his life with Peggy. There was an idea to show that relationship in a movie or whatever, but a script never came together. It didn't materialize. So maybe they're reworking it for this. So who knows? That's a possibility. Anyway, Ryan Reynolds, guys. We all love Ryan Reynolds, right? He's given an update on Deadpool's return in Avengers 5 or 6. One of the things that Deadpool and Wolverine perfectly executed is the introduction of two main characters into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The movie was a major success for Marvel and Disney, effectively ensuring a place for both characters in the overarching storyline of the franchise. In a new interview, Ryan Reynolds, who portrays Deadpool, spoke on whether his character would appear in Avengers 5 Doomsday and Avengers 6 Secret Wars. When asked during an interview if fans could expect his character, Wolverine, Ryan Reynolds played coy and said he didn't have any updates. However, he did voice his opinion on whether Deadpool should ever become an Avenger or an X-Men. He said, "There are no updates to share just yet, but I trust Kevin and Lou Despacito with my life. The character that I love most about Deadpool. The character trait that I love the most about Deadpool is that he's a fanboy. His enthusiasm and longing to be part of a team is really endearing to me. It's his overarching wish fulfillment story, but I don't think he should ever be an Avenger or an X-Men. If he becomes either, we're at the end," he cautioned. Ryan Reynolds corrected the interviewer when the latter asked if that meant Deadpool would not appear in the Avengers movie. "Just the opposite. I think Deadpool works so well appearing with the X-Men and the Avengers, but he always needs to stay an outsider." The spirited actor went on to underline the dichotomy between what Deadpool wanted and what he could get. His ultimate dream is to be accepted and appreciated, but he can't be accepted, Reynolds explained, adding, "His coping mechanism of deflecting shame through humor works only when used to pave over his many inadequacies." Reynolds reiterated that Deadpool joining a team would mean we're at the end of his journey. So, yes. Don't disagree with any of that. And look forward to potentially seeing more and more and more and more. We know Doctor Strange will be in Avengers 5 because we just read that. But maybe he's going to cause incursions, guys. This is a new rumor. It's detailing how Doctor Strange's actions in No Way Home and Multiverse of Madness have already set the stage for the incursions of Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars. Little details are available about the plots, blah, blah, blah. Excuse me. So here we go. Doctor Strange's whereabouts after Multiverse of Madness are currently unknown. In his last appearance, he and Clea left for the Dark Dimension to fix an incursion. Many initially presumed that this incursion that Clea mentioned happened because of Strange's time loop prison scene with Dormammu, but that may not be the case. A new rumor suggests that Doctor Strange's botched spell in Spider-Man No Way Home and the attempt to fix it caused this incursion. According to Alex Perez, the incursion we saw near the end of No Way Home is the incursion Clea was referring to fixing at the end of Multiverse of Madness. Perez also explained that with Kang supposedly out of the picture, Doctor Strange will be blamed for a lot of what will happen in Doomsday and Secret Wars. Yeah, okay. More insider stuff. So, and just real quick, for any uninitiated people who don't know what incursions are when universes collide with each other and kills both planets, or both universes, essentially. So, yeah, it's a pivotal part of Secret Wars. There we go. Another rumor. Channing Tatum's Gambit to return in Avengers 5 or 6. Let's see where this rumor came from. Yeah. Oh, Alex Perez again. Alex Perez has a lot to say. Know all these rumors down, guys. The thing is, rumors start from a place of truth for the most part, but, like, it could literally be someone says, hey, guys. Hey, I work for Marvel. Guys. Hey, you over there? You right there? You? Hey, what do you think of Gambit coming back? Right? And then someone in the boardroom, they go, hey, insider guy. Hey, Gambit might come back. Guys. Hold on. I'm typing the email, guys. Gambit. Avengers 5 or 6, maybe. Go talk about that. Send. And not knowing that the guy I asked, right, says, nah, not feeling that. Hey, there we go. It's a rumor. All right. Maybe Oscar Isaac will come back in Avengers or Midnight Suns movie. Yep. And hold on. Let me see. Yep. 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 Okay. Are you gonna tell me where this rumor? My Time to Shine. Hello. Great. Terrible insider. Anyway, but they're trusted, so there you go. I would love to see Moon Knight back. Will he come back? Don't know. Anthony Mackie seemingly confirms Captain America is in Avengers Doomsday. He's reprising his role as Sam Wilson in The Brave and the Bold, which comes out in February. And yeah, anyway, so Avengers Doomsday, blah, blah, blah. We know all this stuff. We talked about it already. Chris Evans is coming back. Deadline reported that according to the publication sources, Mackie will return as Captain America in Avengers Doomsday. Speaking with Empire Magazine, Mackie seemingly confirmed that this, as he noted that he's really looking forward to working with the Russo brothers again. He said, I'm really looking forward to getting back on set with the Russos. They understand this Marvel world in a very unique way, and just having him, Robert Downey Jr., back adds so much. To see what he brings to the table is just a huge opportunity. There you go. That's what he said, and of course, he's Captain America at this point. So, speaking of Captain America, Harrison Ford talks about playing Red Hulk, and he said it wasn't terribly difficult. He's playing Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, a.k.a. the Red Hulk, in Captain America Brave New World, and he said it wasn't a terribly difficult acting proposition. Captain America Brave New World opens in February in the U.S., the fourth film in the Captain America franchise. The film sees Anthony Mackie reprise his role as Sam Wilson, who is now Captain America, while Ford plays Ross, a character previously played by William Hurt, who unfortunately passed away in 2022. Speaking with Empire Magazine, Ford said that playing Red Hulk in Captain America 4 didn't require any kind of special dedication, and rather was another day at the office. He continued, I tried to understand the ambition of the filmmakers and to be useful to them. I just didn't sit home at night and say, what do I want to do when I turn into the Hulk? It didn't seem to me to be a terribly difficult acting proposition. Ford did say that he was a little concerned about taking over the role for Hurt. He commented further, I was ambitious to find the right way of assuming this character after the audience had seen other people doing it. I'm only slightly familiar with the Marvel Universe. I live in another universe, but I have watched a number of Marvel films with wonderful actors apparently having a good time, and I thought, well, why not me? So director Julius Ona, meanwhile, praised Ford's performance in the movie and called his depiction of Red Hulk mind-blowing. He said, is Julius a guy? I think it is. How would Julius sound, guys? Julius sounds, does he have an accent? All of us on set were like, holy fucking shit, he nailed it. It's really great to get back to a Hulk that is just fucking breaking shit and a rage monster. There you go. I did my best. All right. Black Panther 3. This article was kind of cut off. But according to Deadline, longtime Marvel executive Nate Moore, who was a producer on Black Panther as well as various other Marvel projects, including Eternals and the upcoming Captain America Brave New World, is leaving the studio to pursue producing outside of Marvel. So that's the sad news about Black Panther 3. Not much to it. Here's some more news. Rita Ora. She's a singer. She's reportedly joining the MCU in a villainous role. What is that villainous role, you might ask? I don't fucking know. The Sun UK, very reputable. Love the Sun, yeah. Yeah, we don't know. Yeah, guys, this is such a great article, guys. It tells us a lot. Daredevil, Born Again star confirms MCU show has a lengthy time jump from the Netflix series. So Wilson Bethel has confirmed that there's 5 years between the events of the Netflix show and the MCU show. He played Poindexter, Bullseye, that guy. And he's coming back. Deborah Ann Wool's coming back, Elton Henson's coming back, Vincent D'Onofrio's coming back, John Bernthal's coming back. Guys, they're all coming back. Speaking at Fan Expo San Francisco via Collider, Bethel confirmed that Daredevil Born Again will pick up 5 years after the events of Daredevil Season 3. There you have it. Big time jump. This is another article cut off. But it's possible that Kristen Ritter comes back as Jessica Jones. She was in an interview promoting something else. She was asked about it. She said she would love to come back. She's waiting for the phone call pretty much. And Brad Winderbaum apparently said it's the character he most wanted to see join the, come in and join the MCU. If you don't know who he is, he's essentially the guy who runs the show. He's the TV executive for Marvel. When she heard that, she said, Brad Winderbaum said that? That's really exciting to hear. Isn't that the guy who makes the call? Come on, Brad. Let's get it going. Let's do it. I'll be ready. That's what she said. So, yeah, cool. Love Jessica Jones. Great series. I didn't watch Season 3, actually. Just the first two. But anyway, Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse directors announced because Lord and Miller, they left because Sony's a fucking nightmare. That's why. So apparently Bob Persichetti and Justin K. Thompson have been tapped to direct it. Let's see what our guys say. Don't care about any of that. Here we go. Well, this is what Persichetti and Thompson had to say. They said, "We've had the immense privilege of being part of Miles' journey from the very beginning, and directing the conclusion of this story is very beyond exciting. The creativity and care poured into every minute of this project has been true." What the fuck, man? Why am I fucking shit moved, man? Fucking ads. Sorry. They didn't say any of that. That was all from me. The creativity and care poured into every minute of this project has been truly inspiring. We have crafted what we feel is a very satisfying ending. We can't wait for fans to experience it. We're bringing everything we've got. So what did Lord and Miller have to say about this? They said, Bob and Justin's fingerprints are woven into the DNA of these films, and their passion for Miles' journey shines through in every frame of his last adventure. There's nothing more rewarding than collaborating with creative partners with bold vision and brilliant execution like Bob and Justin. We are thrilled to work with them once again to create a beautiful and satisfying conclusion to the story. Oh wait, so they are still there? What did they leave? They left something at Sony. I think it was the Spider-Man Noir project then. Or Silk or something. They left something. Who fucking knows? Guys, it could be anything. Sony is fucking messy. And we'll get back to that in a second. Felicity Jones, who played Jyn Erso in Rogue One, she is teasing a return. She's teasing a return. There's nothing in here. What did she tease? She didn't tease anything, guys. She didn't tease anything. Her character died. She might be in Andor Season 2. Let's just say that. Okay, so she's speaking a Screen Rant to promote her new movie, The Brutalist. She was asked whether audiences have seen the last of Jyn Erso. She said, "Never. We'll never say goodbye to her. She will live on. She'll live on. I mean, never say never. She's a pretty badass character. Maybe she could come back as a hologram or something, which is completely possible in the Star Wars universe." Okay, cool. So, nothing. This is something Chair and I mentioned when we talked about War of the Rohirrim. It got fast-tracked. Why did it get fast-tracked? Well, because Warner Brothers wanted to keep the movie rights. That's why it got fast-tracked. I mean, that's just according to Variety. It made very little money. It had a budget of $30 million. But yeah, it'll probably make more than that. So the Lord of the Rings creative team is reportedly working on the new Gollum movie, all this stuff, right? They want to do other things. This was just, it was fine. Anyway, that's why they made it. It doesn't mean anything, really, but what does mean something, Kraven the Hunter gets disastrous reviews, Rotten Tomatoes, and Metacritic scores, and it made no money. So it's funny when, you get reports of just bad reviews. That doesn't happen very often. So I want to read some of it. So Kraven gets dismal reviews despite Aaron Taylor Johnson's charming performance. So it got delayed like a year, pretty much. Finally hit theaters. And yeah, not many people enjoyed it. Someone from this website, they lauded the movie for making the bold choice of going R-rated. They stated that Kraven the Hunter still suffers from pacing issues. The pacing in the first and second acts can be sluggish at times. The movie is only fun when the action kicks in because the dialogue scenes are a drag. On the other hand, David Fear of Rolling Stone, in his review, asserted that Kraven the Hunter didn't have, quote, much reason to exist, which of course it doesn't. Fear said the movie's script, quote, felt messed up with and doctored up in all the wrong ways. He further stated that Kraven the Hunter is undoubtedly a self-inflicted kill shot by Sony. Additionally, David Ehrlich of IndieWire aimed at the CGI of the movie and said that it devolves from adorably cartoonish to done as cheaply as possible by the studio trying to cut its losses. It's got a 15% tomato meter, 35 on Metacritic. Yeah. And we'll wrap it up with this one. Let me, there we go. Gotta, whoa, hey, oh, wait. Oh. Okay, apparently it just won't let me do the thing. It won't let me do the thing. So, anyway, here's your headline. Even after Kraven the Hunter and Madam Web, Sony's Marvel movies aren't dead. Apparently, this is an exclusive. Towards the end of Sony Pictures' newest Marvel movie, Kraven the Hunter, the titular anti-hero, played with maximum abdominal musculature by Aaron Taylor Johnson, experiences a chilling hallucination in which he's surrounded by a horde of spiders. It is a clear allusion to the character's greatest nemesis in Marvel Comics, Spider-Man. It is also almost certainly the closest the character will ever get to confronting the web-slinger. Kraven is projected to take in one of the lowest ever opening weekends for a Marvel superhero film, making it the third of Sony Pictures' unsuccessful attempts to spin off a secondary Spider-Man character into its own movie franchise, following 2022's Morbius with Jared Leto and last February's Madam Web with Dakota Johnson. The looming box office failure almost certainly signifies the end of this endeavor at the studio, which one knowledgeable insider at Sony imputed to an industry-wide irrational exuberance about superheroes that has ultimately led to the overall diminishment of the genre's primacy as the leading force at the box office. So this insider is also indicative of Sony not understanding that if you make good products, people will watch it. The problem with these movies isn't that they're superhero movies. The problem is that they're anti-hero movies for straight-up villains. Sorry, Kraven, you're a villain. That then they want you to believe are heroes because they're heroes of their own stories here, and there's no Spider-Man to be had, so nobody fucking cares. Nobody who doesn't read comic books cares about Kraven the Hunter. If this movie was called Spider-Man vs. Kraven, then you'd get more people to go see it because at least it has fucking Spider-Man in it. Jesus fucking Christ, Sony. Get a fucking grip. What it does not signify, however, is the end of Sony's Marvel Universe. For one thing, technically speaking, there never really was a Sony Marvel Universe or a Sony Spider-Man Universe or any other official designation akin to the Marvel Cinematic Universe or the newly relaunched DC Universe. Sony has never approached its comic book adaptations with that level of intentional narrative cohesion, as exemplified by the studio's casual, lowercase, and rhetorically ungainly phrasing for its superhero films, Sony's universe of Marvel characters. For another, Sony remains deeply invested in making movies about Spider-Man. No, they don't. The fourth Spider-Man. These movies. Yes, guys. Yes. The Spider-Verse movies, we can give them some credit. They're great. The Tom Holland movies, Sony can slap its name on it. The only good decision they made there is allowing Marvel to do what they fucking wanted. Disney to me gets all the credit for that shit. Sony has proved time and time again they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They can hire the right people and that might make a difference. The biggest difference they can make is putting fucking Spider-Man in their Spider-Man movies. It's so fucking absurd. Sony insiders are also fiercely defend the successes of the 3 Venom films starring Tom Hardy, which have earned more than $1.8 billion worldwide. The first one made half of that. The first one made like 800-something million. The Last Dance, the first one made $856 million. Venom's The Last Dance cost $120 million to make, 50 for a superhero movie, and improved on the end. Blah blah blah. Let There Be Carnage made barely anything. Anyway, Venom But Venom, built around a widely popular character with its own distinct imprint on the culture, also presented Sony with the false impression that audiences would flock to see a movie about any Spider-Man character without Spider-Man in the film, which is a fucking problem. Like, I don't know how they got so fucking mistaken to think that most fans, like, I remember after the first Venom movie too, and this is why I thoroughly believe this. They started announcing everything. Black Cat, Silver Sable, fucking Jackpot. Brother, nobody knows who the fuck Jackpot is. You mention Jackpot to people, you say, hey, they're going to make a Jackpot movie. You know who that is? No. Oh, it's a Spider-Man villain. Oh, who is he? It's not even a dude. It's a fucking chick, bruh. Nobody fucking knows. Nobody knows. But they want to make these fucking movies now. Anyway, okay. Sorry. I'm losing my mind. All of these characters are famous because they went up against Spider-Man, says exhibitor relations analyst Jeff Bach. You don't need a fucking analyst to tell you that shit, brother. Unfortunately for Sony, they had a taste of success with Venom, and that kind of spoiled everything for them because they thought that they could just spin off all of these characters. I don't think they realized that Venom could carry a franchise, whereas these other characters could not. To not have Spider-Man in these films was the fatal flaw. We've said this for years. Even with the very first fucking Venom movie, they tried to, you know why more people went to go see it? Because Ruben Fleischer at fucking Comic-Con said Spider-Man was going to be in it, a lying little fucking sack of shit. Bro, I need to chill. I need to chill. Sony is far from alone in aggressively expanding its superhero portfolio at the end of the 2010s. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Yep, nobody cares. Yep, nobody cares. Yep, nobody cares. Corporate entanglements, guys. Corporate entanglements. Morbius was dog shit. Yeah. I can't even say that I haven't watched it. The funny thing is, now that hopefully this shit is dead, I'll go back and watch the movies. I'm gonna watch Morbius. I'm gonna watch Madam Web. I'm gonna watch the third Venom movie. I'm gonna watch Kraven when it's available to stream, and then I'm gonna come on this podcast and I'm gonna review them. And maybe they won't be as dog shit as everyone says, but let's be honest, they probably are. Yeah. They could have used any fucking Spider-Man they wanted to. They could have established their own Spider. They could have given us a new one. They could have given us a live action Miles Morales, which they wouldn't have done because of the Spider-Verse movies. They could have brought it back, Toby or Andrew. They could have done anything. You know what they did? Fucking nothing. They gave us dog shit. Sony is dog shit. Anyway, I'm done. That's all the news. That's everything. That's everything, guys. That's it. Look at, I'm closing it. Look at how there's just a black screen next to me now. There's a reason for that. It's because that's everything. That's all the news. That was a lot. We got through it though. Look at this. Bop. Now I'm massive. See? Now you can see my stuff in the background. You can't see my hammer. It's in my car. I got when I went to see War of the Rohirrim, they had a hammer, popcorn bucket, Helm's hammer, even though he doesn't really use a hammer. But in the movie, he briefly had a hammer. And so, unfortunately, right? So usually when you buy the collectible popcorn buckets, they come with popcorn. It's like massive, like a big popcorn. This one came with a medium popcorn, which didn't fit inside the hammer anyway, so I couldn't really use the hammer. But I have the hammer. It's in my car. Eventually, I'm going to put it back here. It can go by Mace Windu's lightsaber, maybe. Something like that. Who knows? I do have these. I made these. Hold on. I made these years ago to cosplay with. They're Nightwing sticks. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. See. Yeah. That's Nightwing. I painted them and everything. Fucking sick, huh? This one came out better than this one, I think. Yeah, this one's a little smudged, but they still look cool. Look it. They have the little orange zip tie because when you go to conventions they zip tie your weapons, so they can be like, oh, it's okay, we've approved you to carry these around, unless they don't, because sometimes they say you can't carry that airsoft gun looks too realistic, so no. Yeah. Anyway, my dog wants to come on my lap again now that we're at the end. Here we go. There we go. Just jumped up here. There we are. All right, Chase. Say hello. Hey. Hello. Oh, you don't want to say hello. He just loves me a lot, guys. I don't know why. No, I do know why. It's because I do everything for him. That's why. Anyway, that's it. Thanks anyone and everyone who listened, anybody who watched the video, whatever. This will be twofold. It'll be, like everything else. It'll go on as an audio. Maybe I'll just upload it as a video. I've never done that. Maybe I should do that. I'll upload the podcast as a video. I don't know if you could listen to it just as audio if you upload it as video, though. That's why I haven't never uploaded it as a, you know what I'm saying? So, and then the video will be on YouTube, Nerd Ledger. You can check it out. Anyway, that's it. Bye. See ya. Well, we'll be back Thursday. So in a couple days after Christmas, we'll come back. We'll talk about who knows what, because I don't know if Chair's watched the shows yet, but maybe we'll talk about something. Anyway, bye. Have a good Christmas. Bye. See ya.